Right. Digital Cortex. Thickwick. Randomstylez.
Hey, yo.
We're back at it. Yeah. All right.
The first of the new year.
The first episode of 2024.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the New Year special was technically the first one, but we didn't record it in 2024.
It was the eve of the new year.
Yes.
So this is the first one of the year.
This is the first time of this year
that we're meeting.
That we are meeting
in 2024.
In 2024.
Yeah.
I'm just repeating what you say.
Do you feel different from the previous year?
I don't think so.
You're not a person that likes that whole new year, new me thing.
Yeah. I've never
Do you like any of the sayings? What
other sayings are there?
What's the other one? This is my year and stuff. What is it? I was thinking of one and I forgot. Just like the whole this is my year kind of thing, and I can't think of it. My mind is fucking gone.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like sometimes I have just kind of a negative outlook when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I don't.
Do you think bad things are coming?
No, not like that. But more of what's the point?
There's nothing different. I'm the same person that.
Why do I have to wait for the year to start in order to do the changes?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's right. That is the correct way to think about it. Because you don't need New Year's to start whatever you want to start. Just do it now. Whatever you're trying to do it now. We started doing this, we just did it. We didn't wait till New Year's, right?
No, we started in June, I think.
Yeah, because I was like, let's just do it now. And I think that's a mindset that's the healthiest. But as I get older, I think that having a point where everyone kind of reevaluates what they're doing is good. Overall, it is a good thing to think about. Hey, maybe I'm not doing the things that I want to be doing. I want to be doing more of this, or I want to, like you said, I want to be doing more voice work. Yes. Those kind of things. And if it takes the new year for you to remember that you're like, hey, I don't like what I'm doing or how I'm feeling, so maybe I should change things for the new year.
Yeah, it's this is when everybody wants to start heading to the gym, and stuff like that. Which is good. I'm not saying don't. If it's for you, then do it.
I mean, you hear people shit on it that's dumb, that's stupid, blah blah blah. You should just do it. They're right. They are right. But at the same time, most situations are not black and white. It's not just you're right, you're wrong. The person that also wants to start working out in the new year is also right, because they should be. And if it takes the new year to do it, or for you to get that spark of, hey, I'm gonna fucking do it, then I think that's healthy too, because you're doing it. Whatever it takes for you to do or be a better person, I think is overall good. And I think we can, if you need the new year, use it. Use all the sayings. Do all the things that people do. They start a cleanse or something. Have you ever done a juice cleanse or anything? Or?
I have. I've tried a cleanse back in the day.
I've
done Soylent as my meals for every single day.
What was it?
Soylent.
What the toilet?
Soylent.
I'm just kidding. What is Soylent?
Yeah, I just drink toilet water.
I thought it was
cleanse the pipes.
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a TikTok about how to drink toilet water and how.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that'd be
dude,
so
we
bad.
should make one, dude. I bet, how many people would try it?
Enough, man.
I did this for 7 days. I drank toilet water exclusively.
We shouldn't even say as oh, this is a new thing to drink toilet water. We should do it as in here's how you should drink your toilet water.
Or what if we just
Have you tried garnishing your toilet water with some lemon juice?
I know, right? I bet. Or what if we say, like, back in the when they invented toilets, this is actually what they used to do.
They used to fish out the water with a ladle, and they would put that water into a big communal jar.
Yeah.
And that's where they would get their water from. And those evolved into what we now have as drink dispensers.
Yeah. Yeah, if you made
none of that's real.
If you made something like that, people would believe it.
Yeah, if you say it like that, like, you know, if you do something, say something with like,
you back it up with like half history facts or something like that, like of other
there's
things.
So much shit that goes out there, and now
show like some Egyptians like hieroglyphics, and they have like a bidet toilet or something, and they're drinking water out of it or something.
You tried a bidet toilet?
I've never had the official bidet experience, like where it's the side little spot where you move over after your
where it's like just a dedicated
but I've had the bidet sprays and stuff like that on the toilet. We have one on our toilet. It's awesome.
It's fucking great.
Life changing.
Yes.
It's like I should have been doing this the whole time.
I know.
When I don't get to use it, I feel like a piece of shit, you know, like,
I exclusively
but I'm saying
shit upstairs in my bathroom because that's where the bidet is.
But like if you have to go in a public setting or something.
Oh, I just don't.
I know, but I'm saying there's like those emergencies or like you're on vacation and you can't get to one.
Right.
You're just like, man, I'm a disgusting piece of shit.
I hate that.
You know, like you're like, I gotta. But I do like wipes too, like the wipes.
So we were doing the wipes before, but
now that you do bidet,
we just do the bidet.
You really can just use the bidet. Sometimes I still have wipes and I'll use a wipe afterwards to just like catch anything else, a bidet mist or something. But for the most part, it's just like you run it through with some toilet paper and you're like, oh, there's nothing on here. Like at least for me, when I have a clean experience, you know, it's kind of a dirty kind of subject, but
it's a fucking life subject, bro.
But everybody
poops,
everybody shits,
everybody burps.
Dude,
I saw this thing and it fucking like hit me. It's like someone was saying something like, "You're not your body. You're
not your body."
Yeah,
that's interesting.
You are your brain. You're your brain surrounded. You are inside of bone, and ligaments and everything else. Like we're basically just bio mechs.
Yeah,
we're just running in our own mech suits here,
and they still haven't figured out all of the human body.
Yeah.
They're still researching the mechanics of the human body. We still don't know. So, I mean, they stopped doing.
They get close to try to replicate things, but you can never completely get.
Yeah, if you break down the whole circuitry of the body and the nerves and the blood vessels you have running through your body, it's a pretty intricate, crazy machinery.
It really is.
It's organic machinery. But yeah, like you're saying, we are not our body. This is like our mech suit, dude. It's our fucking.
If you really think about it, like
this is our suit.
Everything just goes straight to your central brain, and that's what's controlling us all.
Well, there's a whole thing about consciousness and how there was like some FBI like documents that were released saying that they are aware that our consciousness is not inside of our body. Yeah,
I did see something like that from like the 60s or some shit.
And I'm like, what?
They're messing with like LSD and
so they can't find consciousness in the body, in the brain. It's not there. So they don't know, like your soul, you know, the person, the being that you are is not encompassed in this. So it's like so it makes me think we're like Bluetooth connected to this body, you know, like our essence of ourself is something bigger. We're just using this to navigate through this world, you know, but we're not this. And like they know that too, because there was this other scientist or doctor, I can't remember what his name was, but he was saying that all the atoms in your body are replaced every 6 months. Mm-hmm. And every year you're just a whole new person, literally. Like all the cells in your body eventually like get replaced.
Yeah, I think it's like 7 years. By 7 years, you are completely different.
Yeah.
Because after every last bit of you, after 7 years, there's nothing in your body that's been there before. That long.
It was regenerated.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So we're literally...
I guess unless you like get an implant or some shit.
We're literally a new person. So you... the person that you were before, you literally are not the same person. And it does get a little bit more weird when you stop like growing, right? When you fully become an adult, you don't grow anymore. You stop.
I think the only thing that continues to grow is your nose and your ears.
Yeah, your nose and your ears. But
which is weird.
Your face is fully formed, your hair never stops growing too. I think corpses their hair keeps growing or something like that. But no,
I think it stops after a time. But no, because your hair is dead. Like your hair, your fingernails, those things are not alive. Like
maybe I'm thinking of
by the time your hair comes out of its follicles and stuff, like all this is just there's nothing. There's no life to it. So then we just manage it.
But it's like you don't get any taller. Your arms, your legs, they're done growing. You're not getting any longer. So it's just kind of weird. You're in this growth part where that's it. You're done. You've officially reached your point of growth, and then now you're just going to move through the rest of your time as this entity. Because our most most of our experiences are experienced through childhood, and that shapes the way that we are. We always go back to, I did this as a kid, or this made me happy when I was a kid, or you have these like hardcore memories that are like ingrained into your system as a kid. But once you're an adult, you have less of those, it feels like, and you're already formed as a person. So those spots are already taken. So you're kind of just taking experiences and just kind of fine tuning who you are, because you can't redo childhood. You can't be like, yeah, I want to go back to that fucked up part and redo it. Like it's already there. It's hardwired into your system. Now you can only reshape it, but it's there. It's literally the markings of your personality. But I don't know where I was going with that, but it's just...
I get distracted with the dogs.
I know, they're having the time of their life.
I don't know what they're fucking doing. They're just being disruptive.
I know, right? We should just kill them. I'm just kidding.
Don't do those to my babies.
We should just murder children. We must get rid of them now. I'm just kidding.
No.
What? What did you just say?
What? Have you been watching anything?
Not recently. What did I watch recently? Oh, I watched Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Did you watch it in one sitting?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet.
I force myself to watch things in one sitting because I want from the beginning to the end, the feeling. This is what the director set up, right? He wanted to generate this type of and I already know Christopher Nolan. He has something coming for you. Like he's been setting something up all movie for you to, and he did that in Oppenheimer too. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's cool, or I liked it. He's telling you a story about this individual Oppenheimer, and it is really about him. I get why. I mean, the title, why they named it that, because it really is like his story and his perspective of everything, and you get to follow this person through the years of the 40s and the 50s, and even as he ages. I mean, is he still alive? Is Oppenheimer still alive?
I don't think so.
I don't even know if he's still alive. It's funny how your phone automatically starts typing it in too, because it's almost like they know what you're gonna start typing because my tech's
Oh,
correct.
no, he's not alive, bro.
When did he die?
67.
Really? He only made it to 67.
J. Robert Oppenheimer, right?
Okay. For some reason, I thought he was alive in the 80s.
1904 to 67.
He's a lot older than I thought.
He died pretty young.
Cillian Murphy does such a good job with him. I mean, I think he should be nominated for an Oscar for that performance. I really liked it. He's such a good actor. I mean, everybody was good in it. Robert Downey Jr. was good in it.
Oh, he had cancer.
Oh.
Laryngeal cancer. Cancer of the laryngeus voice box.
Wow. That's dude, you don't hear about that type of cancer. I wonder if it's because of his work. Or they smoked a lot.
Yeah, people were smoking a lot.
Yeah, now that I think about it, they were smoking cigarettes the whole time.
You smoked cigarettes everywhere back in the day.
It was a social thing.
Dude, I've seen the weirdest fucking movies recently. Okay?
Well, hold on. Before we move on to a different movie, I just want to say that it I'm almost glad I didn't watch. I really wanted to watch it in IMAX, and I talked about it, and I was pumped about seeing it in IMAX. But after watching it, I kind of feel like it wasn't made for IMAX.
No,
it really was a drama. I mean, the explosions and everything looked awesome and crazy, and like we mentioned before, Christopher Nolan didn't use any CGI for the movie, and you could see he didn't. It was real. Those are real explosions. He probably used camera angles and stuff to make it look bigger, maybe.
Yeah,
because you can't make an atomic level explosion. You know,
who's gonna let you do that?
But it was cool. That scene was cool. And
North Korea, maybe.
When they tested it, it was awesome. Like that was one of the coolest. But most of the movie was a drama. And I couldn't stop thinking because there's a couple of parts where like he's having sex and stuff, and like I just imagine being the IMAX and seeing two people like
giant ass people having sex on the screen,
giant titties on the screen. Like, 'cause, dude, at one point, like the chick that he's like with or he sees every now and then, she's just sitting in her chair talking to him naked, like, and you can see his tits, and then he's naked too, but you can't see his dong or anything. But he has legs crossed. But they're both just naked, and I'm just in my mind, I'm just thinking about all the people that bought tickets to see it at IMAX and the big ass screen, and you see Cillian Murphy sitting butt ass naked, and you see his.
Like we've said it before, but in like theaters, there's certain places that they had an intermission.
For that movie? Okay.
Yeah.
See, but that's okay. Intermission is okay because you can take a break of it. And I actually did get up and I made popcorn or something. I forgot what I did. So I did kind of have like a little mini intermission. You do that for plays too. I mean, it's hard to keep people in their seat for a long ass time, especially a 4-hour play or something, you know.
And their play, they use that time too. It's usually they'll have the intermissions when they change larger set pieces.
Exactly. They need time too. So, but yeah, it's a good movie to watch from start to finish if you can get through it, because he's setting it up. He's showing you a story, and he's going to end it too. And that the scenes with Albert Einstein were cool because it's just cool to. I'd never heard like Albert Einstein like speak that much, and I mean I've read stuff about him and I've read his work and stuff like that, but I didn't. And I don't know. For some reason, I always thought he was like, the timeline. Like you don't know when he was alive. Like he was older in the 40s. He was like one of the older guys. But
he was German, right?
Yeah, yeah. And they talk about that. There's a whole German thing about it. Yeah. No, it was just a good story. If you can always count on Christopher Nolan to give you a good story. Like you're not going to be disappointed. He's going to give you a good story. You might not think it's the greatest movie ever, but he's going to give you a good story. And he gives you complicated stories too. Because that was the thing that I watched the interview with him, and I think I talked about this before, but I don't remember. But he did an interview where he talked about how people complain about his movies sometimes, that they're complicated, that people are like, I don't want to sit through something I can't understand, or it's too much thinking, or like he's putting all the, but he's like, his point was, if you don't make something thought-provoking, then you're not going to be engaged, Because you're going to be like, oh, I already know. The guy's going to get the girl at the end. They're going to save the day, blah, blah, blah. It's over. That's not fun. That's not enjoyable. He's giving you something to think about. And he's giving you something to watch over again. Because there was so many dialogue scenes and so many things going on. I have to watch it again. Because I miss things. I miss things in the movie. I miss little parts that I'm going to go back and watch. And I'll be like, oh, okay, I get that. I get why that was happening and this and that. Because there's a war going on at the same time. There's basically an arms race to get the atomic bomb. They know Germany's working on it, the Nazis. They know Russia's working on it because they have similar scientists going back and forth. You know, a lot of the college educated scientists get educated in America too. So they know they're going back and forth. They know what their research or what they're working on. But yeah, it was just an interesting timepiece, and he always gives you something to think about and something always to contemplate, and I think that is where great stories happen, is when he doesn't just spell it out to you, he lets you think about it and lets you figure it out, like, oh, okay, you know. Because then it makes you more engaged. You want to know more about these guys. Right. You know, you want to know more about what was happening, and it would be cool to research. And there's some other things that I wanted in the movie because I just want explosions. But it's not a Batman movie, you know. And you know, I don't want to say too much about what I didn't or what I wanted to see because it'll take away from the story, I think, if you haven't seen it. But yeah, I would recommend it to anybody that likes movie. If you like movies and you like stories and you're not afraid to watch a dialogue movie, then watch it. And it's going to be good dialogue. It's not boring. It's always interesting. He keeps you engaged for sure. And the way they shot everything, I mean, you feel like you're in the 40s, you know. Cillian Murphy, the house that he's living in, it's all wood. You know those old houses with the wood on the walls and the wood door. I
used to live in one of those houses.
Those are awesome.
I know.
And like he makes you feel like you're in that time period, you know, with the way that they're, you know, dressing and talking and all that stuff. So it made me think about his son, though, because he has a kid in the movie, and his name is Peter Oppenheimer. I was like, what is Peter doing? You know, what is he up to?
We can find out.
But I remember thinking that while I was watching the movie, because they had like, Peter, he's still around too? Or
he's 82.
He's 82. Wow. Was he a scientist too, or no?
He is an actor known for Dr. Atomic and Bloomberg Wall Street Week.
Okay, so he became an actor.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Man, it was such a crazy time, though, man. Like, and there's some parallels to the way that they handled the atomic bomb and the race for the biggest nuclear bomb to the way that we're treating AI now. You know?
Yeah.
Because there is a race.
Did you hear Microsoft is updating the keyboard for the first time in like forever?
They're changing it.
Yes. So their newest version of Windows is going to have an AI assistant type thing built into it. Right.
So there's like an AI button or something.
Yeah, they're going to add an AI button to the keyboard.
That's what they want to do. Dude. Mm-hmm. They're pushing forward, and this is a good movie to watch because you're watching history, and history is literally repeating itself. We're in a race. It's not for the biggest bomb now, but it's for AI, and whoever gets to the end first is going to be in control. Because it's that powerful. AI is going to be that powerful, and it's coming. I don't know, what is it called? Why do I want to say advanced? What's AI again? It's the artificial intelligence, but the artificial general intelligence is what they're working on, and some of them have
gotten closer to it,
or they think they've cracked it.
Shit.
Yeah. And see, there's issues because there's things going on we don't know. And we're not going to know until they already years from now.
You're right.
Because we're in it.
Yeah.
And you don't get like this, like the way that Oppenheimer and that time period was happening, it was too much for anybody to know what was going on. But now you watch the movie and you can see everything together. Like they would make a movie about this time right now and show. Because like the stuff that happened with OpenAI and how they removed, what's his name? What the heck is the founder's name? Do you remember? Oh,
I can't remember.
Gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue and I can't think of it. Let me just look it up real quick. Oh, shit. I still had that on. Sam Altman.
Sam Altman.
Yeah. Remember they removed Sam Altman from OpenAI? Like the board. The board removed him from the company.
Didn't he go to like somewhere else? And then
he signed up with Microsoft. This all happened in like the span of like 3 days.
Yeah,
it was super quick. He was removed, then he was back reinstated like within days because the whole board rescinded, and the employees said they were going to quit and go to Microsoft because they heard Sam was going to Microsoft, and they never said what happened. They never said what was the reason for the removal. They just said he wasn't being forthcoming with information or something like that, or there was some kind of miscommunication about what was going on or something like. But that doesn't seem like enough to remove a guy from his own company that he started, which is weird.
I mean, like they've done that before. They removed Steve Jobs from Apple.
Yeah, but there was...
it all comes down to money business.
But when you're working with AI, there's something else going on.
But then, like you said, like people don't know everything.
We don't know. And we kind of know what was going on with Steve Jobs at the time because we got like 2 movies from it, right?
Well, now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying now. We're always going to know more in the future or after things settle.
What do you think Steve would be doing with AI?
He would be all over it. He would be all over it. He was always thinking ahead. And like he didn't want any buttons on the iPhone. Remember the circle button that was left? Like he wanted a mouse without buttons. Like his whole thing was like removing. He wanted to be so much more pure with the technology. So he would be all over AI. I'm sure that Apple might have been more aggressive too, and I don't know do you even know what they're working on with AI? I mean, everybody has an AI project going on.
I don't know. I feel like for Apple, it would be, they wouldn't want to introduce something new.
I guess Siri is their AI, right?
Siri is their virtual assistant.
But it's like
But it doesn't work the same. Like the way AI works and the way that like assistants work is not the same. So if I was to guess, if the Apple did anything, just looking at their track history, they like subtle change. So I would think that they would implement AI type attributes.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. Before we move on anymore,
Siri.
Let's do a toast, dude. We didn't even toast this year.
Okay. Toast to 2024.
Woo. It's not cold anymore, but it's good.
No.
You know you're supposed to add a little water to your whiskey?
You can, yeah.
You want some? I got some water in here.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
I'm going to add a little bit of mine.
Go for it.
Oh, you got water right there.
Yeah, I got water.
It's supposed to enhance the flavors. There we go. You want to take a drink of water too. But yeah, what were you saying? What do you think Apple would do with AI or what they're doing?
I think they would just implement the AI, if they have anything they're working on, into Siri. Like they would just merge it.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I think they would just use their base of Siri and then just try to expand her more, right?
Yeah. But they don't want to, and then they would just be kind of forced onto people's stuff.
They have the Apple virtual reality that they came out with. What do you think about those goggles? I guess that's where they're going.
So what they're doing for their and it's not really virtual reality, it's augmented reality.
Oh yeah, that's right, because you can see
augmented reality is where they take, you get a view through. So it's just like wearing regular glasses or something. And then you can add things on top of it. So think like Pokemon Go, right?
Yeah.
That's augmented reality where you can move your camera and then you see
AR.
the Pokemon somewhere. Yes. So for Apple with their stuff that they're doing, what they're doing is not new. What they're doing, other people have been doing. Yeah. Facebook does it with an Oculus Quest, and it's way more
meta.
Yeah, but the thing is that what Apple has done differently is the hardware. So they have, and this is at the time that they had originally announced this and released it, like that I'd looked into. So don't quote me on all the specifics, but the basic gist of it is that they have multiple processors in there specifically to render everything with little to no lag whatsoever, because that's the big issue with AR is that you can put yourself in this immersive, idea, but you still are filtering through yourself. So there would be a lag of what you see and what's going to happen. So like you move your finger and you touch something and that's like a couple millisecond lag, you still feel it. Like, if I move this thing, I expect it to move a certain way. Yeah. But if I touch it and then like half a second later it does the move or whatever it is, then that's
it's not user friendly.
Yeah. And when you have your eyes on something, now you're creating like a sense of nausea, because the things you're seeing are happening delayed than what you're physically doing. And so that makes you nauseous. And that's one of the issues with VR to begin with. So as we get more into it, we can get more clear displays with more better refresh rates is the thing. It's because we want to get to a part where we can make this as seamless as possible.
I think I want to wait till their next version of their glasses.
Definitely, I would wait to see it, but
because the thing I didn't like about it was that big ass fucking battery pack.
And you have to though, because the
battery technology is not there yet. We haven't figured that out.
When they start implementing more solid state batteries and they fine tune that technology, I think that's what we'll see. Because right now with current battery usage, we use lithium ion batteries, right? So you have, and again, I'm not an expert, but the gist of it is that we have these like metal plates in the batteries and there's liquid that goes through it. And there's energy that passes through the liquid and the plates and that creates the charge and whatnot. Okay. Yeah. And so with the lithium ion batteries, one of the issues with them is like when they expose to air and stuff, they explode and whatnot. Solid state batteries, they eliminate the need for the liquid part of it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Which means that they can produce energy that's, I want to say it's cleaner and it's more efficient. So for an example, when Tesla was getting their batteries set and then we talk about specs and stuff, they could probably get like 200 or 300 on like their top batteries as far as like miles per hour and how far they can go and whatnot, right? Toyota has boasted that working on their solid state battery technology, they're able to get 700 plus miles on a charge.
That's crazy.
And because they've removed layers of what needs to happen for these batteries to gain a charge, they can actually charge things faster. So you can rapidly charge these batteries safely without the need for these taking forever to charge them. So we're still in the infancy of watching all of these things happen. I mean, if we look back and think about like, what's a standard you would say miles per gallon for a gasoline vehicle?
On the highway, you probably want like at least 20 miles a gallon, 18, 20.
And I feel like that's pretty low, right? Because on the highway, I think for more modern, like let's talk about a sedan or something, you could probably see closer to like 30, right?
Maybe
40 in the city.
Mm-hmm.
But if we go back in time and we take a look at when automobiles started becoming mass produced and everybody started getting them, we were looking at maybe like 15.
Yeah, it was low.
10 miles per gallon. Trucks that were like 7 miles per gallon.
I love that. I love watching Die Hard and seeing the gas price, because there's that point where the cop is buying donuts, or he's buying Twinkies, and he hears a call from Nakatomi Tower, and he's right at the gas station, and he walks outside, and the camera pans with him, and you see the gas price of the gas at the time at AM PM, and it's like 70 cents a gallon or something.
Oh yeah,
like that.
and I remember when it was like at $1 and stuff back when I was a kid.
Yeah,
like cheap and shit. We definitely need to get off of that for sure. But what I'm saying though is my point is that electric vehicles have started becoming more prominent only within the last decade, right? If we look at the battery technology and everything that they've come across so far, they've only are improving it. And we've only been in it, like I said, like it's just been like a decade, maybe like, I don't even want to say 20 years max, because I maybe like 15.
I want to say that Kia had an electric car that they were trying out in the 90s.
Yeah, but nothing great.
And
a lot of them have, and they couldn't, because like you look at like the Nissan Leaf, one of the first electric vehicles that was out there, and those things don't even get like 60 miles on a charge.
Really? They're that low?
Oh yeah, because the technology. I mean, when you look back that far.
Yeah.
But again, that far, we're talking like early 2010s, maybe late 2000s.
Yeah.
And we're looking at a huge difference in efficiency in vehicles, the way that we produce them now in traditional gasoline vehicles, than what we did in like the 80s, right? I mean, if that was 40 years ago?
A while ago.
Yeah.
30 plus.
So in that short amount of time, we've made huge strides in how efficiently we can create motors and things and keep working on the gasoline combustion engine.
Oh, it's accelerating. We're accelerating so fast. And
we're talking about an engine that was developed when, in the early 1900s, late 1800s? I think I want to see a combination of electric and gas together. I mean, we've had that. We have the hybrid cars and everything.
I know, but I think that is the more sustainable way. We can use less gas and then have this electric power with it. And I think those are the best, some kind of combination of both, because there's so many problems with electric vehicles right now.
Well, that's my point. There's so many problems right now, and we've gone through the hybrid phase of it, where we're going in. Like, look at the Chevy Volt, where that one is primarily the battery, and you fill up the small little tiny gas tank, which is just pretty much a generator to help charge the battery.
Yeah, and I think that's a good method, because
that's a fine method for that transitional point. But my point is that fully electric vehicles, to be able to start competing with them, we're still in those very early phases. Like, it took us a century to get to where we are now with the efficiency of modern gasoline vehicles. Electricity is going to be the way, and the benefit of us is that in this realm of how fast technology moves now, things are going to start happening much quicker. So probably in like half the time. But we're still at a very early stage of it. When these next rounds, because we're still in like that first round of how they do and did batteries, the solid state batteries that they're coming out with, these are going to be a huge game changer. For how things are done. They can make them not only charge quicker, be more efficient, last longer, and have a higher range, but they're also cheaper to produce.
But can they survive the cold?
Well, that's the thing, is yes, because
That's the problem that these Teslas are having. They're stuck.
And why? Is because the liquid.
It freezes. Mm-hmm. And it takes so long to warm up.
Because they need to warm up the battery in order to do that. And the solid-state battery, you don't need to do that.
That's why I was thinking that a hybrid is a good option, because you have both supplies there, because you can use the gas.
And that's definitely like a good option if you wanted to be realistic on overall efficiency everywhere.
Yeah.
Right now, definitely. It's harder to jump into full electric cars.
And then
that's why not every manufacturer has like an entire line of full electric. But what I'm saying is that we're still in an infancy of it. We're about to hit that next level soon. Within the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to see a massive change in the way that they produce these electric vehicles.
Yeah, they need to fix it.
And then that type of technology, when they end up throwing that into our phone, we're going to end up talking about like having, how often do you got to plug your phone in? At least once a day, right?
I don't even want to use electricity. What about Doc Brown, man? He was throwing trash into his DeLorean, dude. How do we get to that point?
I don't know if we ever will.
Why not, dude? We could biodegrade things and use different power sources.
But when you start talking about that, we have to start looking at
fusion
all
or something.
The different things that create that electricity.
How about the hydrogen powered cars?
I mean, think about like hydrogen is not.
I don't know.
A great way to go either.
They're trying. There is a company that's working on it.
And who is it? I think it's Honda. Honda does hydrogen cars right now. You can go buy one.
They have one?
But
do you just put water in it?
No. It exhales water. Like that's what it drips out water. Yeah. Oh. That's how hydrogen works.
Well, there was water powered cars too.
Yeah.
You ever heard about that?
But they're not sustainably efficient.
I don't know.
So we have to look at it's not just like, we can power this. Sure, we could try to power things off of trash.
The guy that made it got killed.
The efficiency of it is what's different. There's so much more into it.
I think we're gonna have other options, like because I saw this dude in Africa. He developed a self-powered TV. So a TV that doesn't use electricity. It doesn't plug into anything.
But there has to be something to start it.
Yeah. So what it's using, he has on the back of the TV, there's, it's using radio waves to power the TV. Because there's radio waves around us at all times. And somehow he's been able to grab those radio waves and use it and power the TV. And he showed it. He turned it on and everything. It was pretty cool.
I'm skeptical to think about how that can transfer into other things.
Well, but I'm not thinking of that being applied to like a car or something. I'm just saying people are developing other power sources like Tesla. Tesla always said there was energy all around us. So there was free energy around us that we can use. And this guy is starting to this guy has figured out how to harness some of that free energy, because there is energy around us.
But when we look at it from...
There was supposed to be Wi-Fi power, right? You could charge things with Wi-Fi.
It's not like Wi-Fi, but yes. So Wi-Fi, cellular connection, anything that's wireless, it all goes through a signal, right? But really... Still, there is a point where you have to distribute something through it. Okay? Think about like wireless charging. We still have to get a power source to throw through it before it can have the efficiency to send electricity through nothing. Yeah. Right? And wireless charging isn't as efficient as like plugging it directly in.
Not yet.
Right, not yet. And that's my point with the cars too. Is we're going to get to a point where the batteries become more efficient. The way we utilize that energy is more efficient. I mean, right now, sure, we could talk about like getting rid of electricity altogether and find a whole other different power source. But at the end of the day, we still are converting it into electricity. Electricity runs through everything. Your brain and all of your functions run through electricity.
Yeah.
You're a conductor of electricity. And even in electronics that we have right now,
they'll probably harness energy from our own body.
Comes from electricity.
Dude, you'll probably be able to charge your phone just by putting it in your pocket, dude.
Possibly, man.
Because they have those kinetic watches, that it recharges the battery with movement.
So they're not batteries, though. There's no batteries. It's not charging it. The watches are different because what you're doing is you're still creating a motion, right? It's a basic law of like physics. You can't have something without putting something in. There needs to be an input to have an output of some form. And so, we can talk about the kinetic movement of like watches or charging things, right? But we still need that energy to move.
Well, yeah, your energy's already there because you're moving your arm.
Yes. Yeah. The moment you stop, then you got to go and now do your watch again. So we've had that type of technology for a bit. Yeah. I have a watch in there actually, in the drawer there, that the way it works is, and you can see it because it's a skeleton watch, so which means like the pieces are visible. It winds. So the movement of the watch has a weight, and it will wind the weight, which then winds the gears. And that movement of winding will then allow those gears to move in their precise moments that they need to move. And if that watch sits, the time will not tick because it will eventually become, where it's lost energy. There's no more energy. There's no input for it to give any output. So they'll actually sell you like holders and cases or like boxes where you put your watch in and you plug this into a wall or some shit and it will move your watch for you. So your watch is always on time. So you don't have to go and, redo your time and shit.
You have to keep putting the time in.
So, but everything that we've done so far as like electronics, TVs, computers, your phone, your watch, even these microphones, they all run off of electricity. And it's various different amounts of electricity flowing through cables or flowing through different, like if we look at a motherboard or a circuit board, they're all just little rivers of copper that the electricity flows through. And that's how like a processor works too. They connect all the different little parts to provide different voltage of electricity through everything. That's how you overclock a processor and speed up a computer, is by applying more voltage to it to a point to where that thing can handle it or not. And then we get things where like thermal throttles, because at a certain point, that electricity is creating heat. And the heat is an output. And that output has to go somewhere else.
Yeah. So it's a efficiency thing.
So talking about perpetual energy that just continues on, it's not sustainable, because there has to be something to start it at least. So really there's nothing that can run on its own without getting a start. And eventually energy will start to slow, because if there's not additional flow, it can't be held. So it can go for a while, but eventually if we're not adding more to it, like we talk about the radio waves or something, that's still just energy flowing through. Yeah. And it's the ability to harness that type of energy. Yeah. And radio waves they come from different things. So there's definitely a source out there. Like we talk about solar energy, and that's literal invisible rays of energy coming from the sun, a nuclear energy. And we found ways to harness and pull that and then convert that to how we need it to run for what we use.
Yeah, I think it's exciting. I like when I hear...
There's just so much.
I like when I hear other power or people figuring out different things, especially in, like a poor country or something where they don't have nuclear power plants or consistent energy sources. A lot of them power things by solar Or I think didn't Mr. Beast go down there and power some shit or something?
He went to like this island and gave them solar and internet.
Yeah.
So that they can, bring education and shit.
I remember reading the story about the dude that invented 5-hour energy drinks. And he has all kinds of projects too, where he he gave these people a stationary bike, and they would bike, and that would go into a battery, and then that stored energy, they would use it to power their lights at night and stuff like that.
Same fucking thing that Rick did. Remember? In Rick and Morty,
yeah.
He creates a battery that is containing its own little like universe in there, and he got the people to believe in him as a god.
His crystals,
so he could say like the only way that things keep happening here is that you need to keep, what was it, like pedaling or something. Yeah. They had to keep like pushing on these boxes to create the power, and that's how he has an infinite battery for his spaceship.
They think there is some conspiracies. There are some people out there that theorize that that pyramids were a power source. That in its original state, with all the slate and everything that was on it, because I think it had gold built into it, that it was conducting energy. And they were using that energy to power their various things that they needed. So that's why you can't find any lights inside of the pyramid and stuff like that, because it had its own lights that was being powered inside of it. But I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's
there's a lot. There's a huge science. It's not as simple as just saying like one thing or another. And you know what? I'm no fucking expert. I know the fucking rudimentary basics of it too. Yeah. And I can't go and teach this. I barely understand it myself. I just know what I've already explained. I only know what I know.
Okay, that's great.
I don't know what I don't know.
Thank you for letting us know you know. I know what I know, and I know what I don't know. And I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. But, some people don't know. Some people know what they don't know. Like you don't know what you don't know. Remember we talked about this? You don't know what you don't know, but there's also things that you don't know, right?
Yeah.
Because as you start, that's I actually saw somebody break it down with gosh, why am I losing my words today? Like a little graphic, like a little animation of when you start learning information, then you start realizing how much you don't know. Like when you start learning about the universe, you're like, whoa, wait a minute. That's how it works. And
I mean,
then
like, I'm self-aware right now, just talking about the electricity. Like I'm talking about only the ththings I know, and there's so much more depth to it.
There's a lot of things that are going on right now.
I just can't tell you because
it's a lot.
I didn't go to school for that shit.
I like seeing innovation, and I like seeing people thinking outside the box. I think that's what I like the most. Because I always feel like we get funneled into one track thinking like it's either gas or electric. That's it. But I feel like there is other options out there, and we need these other options. It doesn't have to be we're just going to erase one or the other. Like there can be hybrids, there can be combinations, and there can be other things that power other things. Like, you know, they've been doing it for, I think there was an episode in Robin Big, remember back in the days where he was powered his vehicle with vegetable oil. Remember he was going to Chinese.
That's still a thing.
It's
called diesel.
Yeah. And he would go around to all the Chinese restaurants and get their used oil and then use it to power his car.
So Robert Downey Jr. actually has a TV show where he takes he's got a huge vehicle collection, but he also wants to make an impact on the planet.
Yeah.
So he's finding ways to take his old classic cars and convert them to different type of energy. Whether that be like full electric conversions. He's done ones where, you know, he's made it diesel. Like, for example, when I worked at McDonald's,
yes,
we had entire like tanks where we would put all the old oil that we used for frying shit, right? Yeah. French fries and shit, like literal French fry oil. Okay?
Yeah.
All of that would get disposed of. It go down a fucking drain. It goes to a different fucking tank somewhere, and there's an output at the back of the restaurant. And at night, overnight, a truck would come and they would siphon off all of our old oil for us, and then they would take it somewhere else.
What are they doing with it?
They convert it to fuel for the trucks.
That are coming to pick it up?
For the trucks that are coming to deliver product. Because we have to, there's trucks that have to ship you fucking beef from God knows where to another central location where they could package it up and do whatever the fuck they need, put it in a freezer, bring it back to the restaurant, right? So they would take the used fry oils from all the restaurants, instead of just disposing of it, they'd upcycle it and turn it into diesel fuel.
Isn't diesel engines, isn't it just using like pressure? Like a steam engine? Because that's what I heard.
No, it's different than that. It uses, well, I mean, it depends. Biodiesel or regular diesel. There's like two different ones. And again, I don't fucking know all the science of it. But no, they still burn it off. It just burns it off differently. And the thing is like a diesel engine doesn't explode because it's not under pressure. So combustion engines are under pressure. That's why we have gasoline that gets pushed, and we push the through those injection. Like they talk about injection fueled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is. It's pressure of fuel and a spark plug that ignites the fuel, and then they push on pistons to create revolutions. That's how we get RPM.
That's the combustion. That's the explosions that are happening in the car.
And we need those to then take the revolutions, because energy has to go somewhere, right? And we take the revolutions of energy and then we put it where it needs to go to move a fucking gear or transition, move the fucking wheels around, and now we've got movement. That's why we add a little bit more gas and things can go faster, because we're adding more fuel. It's like coal and stuff, right?
Well, as I understood it, or someone was explaining, is that the diesel is more like a pressure cooker, like the engines they used to use on trains and stuff like that, where you, like you said, you would throw the coal in and it would.
So that would be steam.
Yeah.
And
that was more of how diesel worked, but I don't know. I got to look into it, because
steam is actually kind of how nuclear works.
Yeah, because they were also, I was reading about the spiders, how spiders they're the only one. Are they the only one only animal that has no muscles in their legs?
I don't know. No, I feel like there's other ones that don't, like insects and shit. Like that shit's even weirder, man. I don't even.
Yeah, so they don't have any muscles in their legs, like a tarantula or something.
We're getting into way too much.
And like, so they don't have any muscles in their legs. So they don't use muscle like every other animal to climb or to move and walk. They actually have a diaphragm that fills up with pressure, and it uses pressure.
Yes. It uses, it's kind of like.
So if their diaphragm ever gets punctured, they can't move. That's why they start slowing. And then that's why also when you kill a spider, their legs curl up, because the pressure's gone.
And you can take a dead spider and you can... I've seen people like inject things to like move them.
Yeah.
And the rudimentary like looking at this is... you ever seen like cranes? Like people have... and they do this with like kids project, like hydraulic cranes, right? And hydraulics is just... adding either pressure or liquid to something. It can either be air or liquid.
Yeah.
And that amount of pressure will then force a piston or something to move.
Yeah.
And when that piston moves, it either extends or retracts. And that's essentially how a spider's legs move.
Yeah, which is crazy, because some of them can run fast, and they're just constantly releasing pressure, upping the pressure, releasing. That's how they're moving their legs, and they control it.
It's so weird. I don't even want to think about it because I'm getting all
you don't like
about insects and spiders. I don't like insects.
How come you don't like insects?
Because it's fucking weird. It's weird. I don't understand it, and I don't like it.
What would be weird is if they were giant and you had to fucking fight.
Do you remember that shitty ass movie back in the day? The what was it? It's not 8-Legged Freaks, is it?
Well, there was 8-Legged Freaks. That is a movie.
Is that the one where there was like fucking giant spiders and shit?
Are you talking about the space one where they're like, it was the future?
No, I think it was just 8-Legged Freaks where they had to like fight these giant ass fucking spiders. Yeah, it was a 2000 movie. And these fucking spiders were attacking everything.
Yeah, if that was... if they were alive, if they were human sized, like we'd be getting fucked up.
Just freaks me out. I don't like it.
You know what? I watched a thing on ants the other day, and ants, you know how they bite you with their, they're like, they got the two little claws. That what they do is they actually what they're doing is they grab your skin and they're using their stinger on the back of their butt to sting you. So they're not, you don't get stung by them biting you. You get stung by their stinger that's stinging you from their butt.
And also that I think it also depends on the species of ants too, because there are some ants that have like their bite is super fucking strong. Like they bite through everything.
Yeah, they do have a strong bite, but the animation was showing how when they sting you, they don't just sting you one time. They like go, they're like stinging you. It's not like a bee where a bee just stings you once. They're fucking you up, dude. Like katash, katash, katash. They just keep hitting you with their stinger. And It makes sense because every time I've seen...
I don't want to think about insects anymore.
A fucking ant on me, they have been kind of curled up. Like, and they're going to fucking town stinging my leg, dude. And like, I was like, oh, those sons of bitches. I always think of like, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Remember when they had like little pet ant and they're like, Auntie, no.
The poor ant.
Yeah. And then fucking Ant-Man, dude. Ant-Man was like chilling with those dudes. How would the ants not fucking kill him, dude? Like when he's a little super small, wouldn't they want to like fuck him up one time?
I think he did get freaked out of him. Wasn't there a scene where he was like practicing with the ants and then he got freaked out, so he went large and he's just like halfway in the ground?
Yeah, there's a big old bump and just expands in the ground. So that would fuck you up too, though, wouldn't it? Rapid expansion and underground, like it's
a whole fucking thing. Because when you're smaller, things, the environment is different. The air that just like is here at all times moving around us, you feel it more. It feels like a fucking hurricane depending on how small you get.
Yeah, you can see like an ant when they're like drinking, they can pick up a water droplet and hold it. Like, we can't do that. We're too big to pick up a single droplet. Right.
And that's where other things get crazy. Like we talk about the way that mass alters you at a certain, like, that's why people who are much taller, like we're talking like 7-8 foot people, like they have Giants. A whole different
atmosphere.
Pretty much, man. Gravity pushes on them way different than it does for like shorter people.
I know there's a lot more stress on their hearts because of their longer limbs and their body and stuff. They have to pump blood all the way to the end of their fucking fingers.
You have to work harder for it.
So it has to work a lot harder. So a lot of them have enlarged hearts because of it. But which makes sense. They're pumping blood to a whole different...
And then we think like, just back where you're talking about like bees. If we took a bee and enlarged it, the mass of the bee's body would be too much for the bee's wings to actually carry it through the wind.
Well, it is now. Like, they don't know how bees fly.
No, we do.
No, they said that they're like you just said, their bodies are too big for their wings, but they can still fly.
Yes, and the way it does is because the different way that the air works with them. They're like cutting through it like water.
Yeah.
Their wings are working like paddles, and that's how they're moving around.
Let me see if there's an explanation, because the last thing I heard is that scientists don't really understand why they can fly.
It has to do with mass and being like small and shit. Because if they were enlarged to like a larger size, they wouldn't be able to pull their bodies up. Because their wings wouldn't be able to push on the air the way it is.
I like this Mythbuster thing, like what it says. He goes, there's a popular misconception that bees shouldn't be able to fly. In reality, that is not true, because they can and do fly all the time. Well, yeah, duh.
Yeah.
It's not that they shouldn't be able to fly, is that we don't understand why they can fly. You know, but it's just funny. It says,
here we go.
The way they move their wings and the generation of the tiny hurricanes that lift them from upwards.
So, bees have two sets of wings, one larger outer set and one smaller inner set. In each set of bee wings, the large and small wing is connected with hamuli, which are kind of like hooked comb teeth. In order to beat these wings, a bee has muscles that cause its thorax to squeeze in two directions, both up and down, and left and right. The bee alternates these rhythmic thorax pulsations, kind of like how we breathe, but instead of pulling in air, these pulsations cause the bee's wings to beat back and forth. This allows bees to beat their wings very quickly and fly. So here's like an animation. And like I was saying, it's kind of like they paddle through the air.
So it says they move their wings extremely fast, around 200 times a second.
Yes.
And this other thing is saying that they create tiny tornadoes under them. And that's how they fly, which is fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, scientists used to think that a bee's wings were rigid, making bees kind of like planes that move hard wings up and down. But bee wings are fairly small for their body size. So even at 230 beats per second, rigid wings wouldn't be able to let bees fly. So for many years, scientists couldn't understand how it was possible that bees could fly, but then using high quality video that could show the bee wing beats in slow motion, they finally figured it out. Understanding bee wings was, this is just going into the thing. They make quick, short, sweeping motions, front and back, front and back. This motion creates enough lift to make it possible for them to fly. And they're like slightly flexible. So they don't just go up and down like this. They go under.
It creates a vortex.
And up. Yes. Yeah. And like I said, it's like paddling through water.
That's what they're talking about.
Air molecules are much different at that size. They're able to pull through. Now, if we took a bee and enlarged it, it wouldn't be able to capture that air molecule the same way.
It would be interesting to try to make or enlarge or have a bigger. I think, yeah, it would be interesting to try to replicate that. But do you know how fast a bee?
It's kind of like a helicopter.
Helicopters are still one of those things that even though they know that it can fly, it's still kind of shocking that it works. You know,
there's a lot of things that are shocking that they work.
Yeah, like do you know how fast a bee is? Like a Western honeybee. It can go up to 20 miles an hour.
That's pretty quick.
That's why they say don't run from bees. You ain't gonna get away from them. If they're attacking you, you're not gonna.
If it's a honeybee, they're not gonna do anything to you.
I'm saying if they're attacking you.
Yeah. There's fucking bugs that look like other bugs that fuck you up differently.
Do you have a thing about bugs? You just don't like bugs in general? Any kind of insect?
I'm just not cool with them, man.
What about praying mantis though? They look cool.
God.
They got the things like the.
Let me tell you.
Did you get stung by praying mantis or something?
One time, like we used to have a lot of praying mantises growing up in the yards and stuff. I was wearing jeans. And we'd gone outside, come back upstairs from my room, and I feel something in my pants, and I'm like, this is a fucking bug in my pants. So I grab it. I grab like the leg of my jeans, and I squeeze hard, and I don't let go because there's a fucking fist-sized thing in there.
You can feel it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I managed to get my pants off, and that's when I find a fucking praying mantis had crawled up my pants.
Did you kill it when you squeezed it?
Oh yeah, I fuck did. Because I was scared as fuck.
You're like, you just holding on to it?
Yeah, I can't do it.
How did it get all the way inside your pants?
I don't fucking know. I don't know. I don't know. Fucking freaks me out.
How are you not feeling this when
it's fucking weird?
But they're not sneaky.
I saw a video of a praying mantis take down a hummingbird.
Yeah, that's an awesome video.
Oh my Jesus. Things are weird, man. Things are scary. There's bugs that look like fucking leaves and shit.
I think it's interesting, and
I'm not saying it's not. It's definitely fucking interesting.
Yeah,
but
you had a crazy experience though, so I mean, I could see why you're freaked out about it, but how did it get up so far? I don't know, dude.
But it was like up towards like the middle of my shin.
Yeah, dude, that's pretty. It must have been crawling on the inside of your pants, I guess, because if it was crawling on your leg, you would have freaked out for sure. So it must have. It was back in the days when we had the big old baggy jeans.
I heard that's in now.
Yeah, it is.
You know, like millennials growing up,
it back,
we were like more into like skinny jeans and shit.
Yeah. Like my generation, 90s, like it was all baggy. Everything baggy. Remember big old giant
Jenkos?
T-shirts and stuff. Remember the T-shirts that go all the way down?
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, dude. It was always bigger. Everything was bigger. And then somebody started going skinnier and skinnier. And then the skinny jeans. And then
by the time I was in high school, that's what it was. It was skinny jeans. Or like leggings and shit were very big. But now I heard it's like.
Were you into the skinny jeans?
Dude, I still own a pair of like skinny. So I don't do skinny, but I do slim fit. I like slim fit.
So you like it tight on legs?
Slightly tighter. Like there's still enough room to breathe in there, but it's not like. And that's the way I always thought. Now I just go regular, but.
Yeah,
before it was always for me. It was slim. I liked it like that.
Yeah.
And I think mainly because being so short, there's no, and being, you know, a wider set individual, there's not a lot of jeans that I find that fit my inseam and my waist.
Unless they're custom or something.
Well, I had to sew them. Like these pants I'm wearing right now, I had to cuff them up.
Yeah,
I have to do that for most of my pants. So, but for slim fit pants, you can cuff them up. You can just roll them up on the inside or something.
Yeah.
And they'll stay because there's not enough room for them to wiggle out.
Yeah. Yeah, you could do that. We used to staple them. I remember back in the days we stapled their jeans because if they were too long. Or
I would do like safety pins.
You
know, when I was a kid, I would wear my jeans like until they were fucked, and especially in the rain and stuff, like there would just be a fucking U where my heel would be because the jeans would flap over my shoe, and then I would end up walking on the back of them, and then all of a sudden I just deteriorated denim on the back of my pants.
You would see those kids too. That
was me because I didn't afford fucking to buy new pairs of jeans.
See those kids, they just chewed the back of their pants from walking. It was so long that
I was one of them.
They had a hole right there. Yeah. I always like, whoa, that's a lot. It's a lot of walking on the back of your. But I usually have bigger shoes. I mean, I wear size 14, so I
started wearing like boots with like some lift.
If you wear a thicker shoe, it does catch that extra. And then
I'm fucking starving. I don't even want to drink the whiskey because I know like it's just, I'm not gonna feel good and nothing else in my body.
All right, what are we at? We're at an hour?
Yeah.
We got this, man. We did it, man. We did the first one of the year.
We did it.
We talked about technology. We talked about some fucking shit.
We talked about insects. We really did talk about shit.
You like insects.
I mean, they're definitely fascinating, but I don't like them. I don't like them. I get freaked out.
There's God's creatures, man. Don't hate them. They're put here for a reason.
To fuck with me.
They get shit done. Some of them are good.
No, I get it.
Some of them suck.
Yes.
Like scorpions kind of suck. I'm sure they do something good.
Oh, please don't get me started on scorpions. I don't want to talk about scorpions. They're so weird.
They are.
They're so fucking weird.
Think about a car-sized scorpion walking around, dude.
Scorpions are one of the few creatures on this planet that have been around since the dawn of time.
You can see why.
They're fucking prehistoric.
They're built. They're engineered to...
And they glow? Why the fuck do they glow? Why do they glow? I know why they glow, but I don't want to talk about it anymore.
They're cold-blooded.
I'm done.
They're cold-blooded.
Don't want to. All right. This has been Digital Cortex.
Hey. Yeah, that's the scorpions. Yay. Okay, we did it.
So many things.
I could just read the names of the buttons.
You would think by now you would have like some kind of memory to what they are.
Yeah, you think so. You would.
What? All right. This has been Digital Cortex. Your hosts, Randomstylez, Thick Wick, and that's it. That's it. No more insects.
And one smelling salt for the road.
Oh Jesus!
We gotta start the. We gotta start the.
That's all you, man. I want to do it.
Oh man, I got like a weird feeling when I did that, but I didn't smell anything. But it's almost like my nose and my brain know what I'm about to do.
You're killing my anxiety.
By doing it? Mm-hmm. Do you get more anxiety from waiting, from the anticipation, or from me actually doing it?
I think the anticipation.
Yeah, the anticipation.
And then when you force me to do it and I'm like, and I watch you do it and I'm like, no.
But then when you get it done, then when you do it, then you feel better. Then you're just done.
Who feels better? I don't feel better. I feel worse. Yum. I'm not doing
Yummy.
it. You can cap that shit. All right.
I'll do it.
Thick Wick, Randomstylez. We're out.
Yay. Later.